and give them the power of life and death over what the school board wants to do. Will they do it? Will they always act perfectly? No, they won't. But if they only have tenure for a year, then you can go at it again. And you will go at it having learned something from the actions of the previous review committee.
Is this an extension of the existing set of checks and balances that we currently
It's another check and balance that I would like to reinstall into our democratic system.
But much more localized.
Oh, not only localized. I would like to have it at the local level, at the county level, at the state level, and at the federal level.
In broad terms, are you supportive of diffusing a large centralized power source?
Oh yes,
like
in broad terms I am. I think we need certain central powers, but I think we have to limit the tenure of whoever holds that power, and severely limit it, and so it's arbitrary. They can only, for example, I think that we ought to have one-term senators and maybe two-term congressmen, and that we ought to have a one-term president, maybe give him 6 years, and that senators ought to be 4 years and 1 term, and congressmen maybe 2 terms, 2 years.
Wouldn't that much activity, coming and going in political office, create a volatile state of affairs for a society?
I think that it would demand that the society keep its eye on what was happening, and that's what we don't have now.
In Dune, going back to the book, going back to how that is reflected in your writing, you have, of course, the tribal entity, the Fremen, responding as a tribe, responding primitively.
But quite sophisticatedly, too.
What effect would your suggestions have on a society? It would obviously not tend to become more primitive and more basic in its decision-making. It would have to become much more enlightened, I would think.
We have to be much more aware of what's going on. I had a senior bureaucrat in the school system in the state of Washington when I expounded this idea to him. He said, "You think some damned housewife could understand the complexities of what the school board has to do?" And my response immediately is, yes, you bet I think a housewife would understand them. She would understand these things out of necessity. I think if you throw the responsibility, the full responsibility onto people, they rise to the occasion.
Back to Frank Herbert as the writer, obviously very politically aware and tremendously sensitive to political and social issues. That was the basis then for Dune.
Well, remember
all of Dune.
Remember, before writing Dune, I was the speechwriter for a United States senator with 2 offices in Washington, D.C. I've been right on the inside of the apple, so I know what's going on back there. I am a political animal, and I've really never left journalism. I'm writing about the current scene. The metaphors are there. I'm writing about the political ecology, the religious ecology, the social ecology, and the physical ecology of our world. And I think you do not separate any one part of this from the others. You don't separate mind and body and understand the human being. And therefore you don't separate any of these elements and understand what's going on in our world. We fondly say that in the United States we separate church and state. That's an asinine statement. There's nothing more emotional than religion. Nothing more emotionally demanding than religion. Because it is the promise of survival. You can't take that out of politics. You get heated emotions aroused. I am a political animal, and that's what I'm writing about. I'm writing about the economic ecology, the politics of all of these things that influence our lives.
The response that you get to your writing, the way people mirror your writing back to you, is it satisfactory?
Oh yes, people are thinking and asking interesting questions because of what I write.
You're impacting then your readers the way you want to.
Oh yes.
And you continue to.
I hope so.
And you have a new book in the spring called Chapter House Dune.
That's right.
Where is that going to take us?
It's the 6th Dune book, and it begins with a Bene Gesserit planet which is being converted into another Dune, and goes from there.
Thank you very much, Frank Herbert, for sharing your thoughts on Dune, your writings, and sharing your thoughts on our world with Walden Books. We wish you the best of luck with the motion picture, Dune, soon to be released. and look forward to Chapter House, Dune.